How's it going, people? Welcome back to my channel. I told you as soon as I was uploading that Everton preview, Arteta was confirmed. I was going to do the video straight away, but I thought, you know what, why not wait for the press conference? And it was pretty interesting. It showed you more about the man he is and his approach, and I wanted to see if he showed character, and he showed a hell of a lot of it. Very charismatic, confident, and precise with his answers. He didn't dodge questions. He, like I said, confident, charismatic. That's all I can really say for that interview. It did bode well with me. I've picked out a few things that he did say, but all in all, very good press conference from Arteta. Better than I actually expected. Like I said, didn't duck dive, answered precisely, no beating around the bush. Told us exactly what it is, told us exactly what he thinks, and told us exactly what he wants to do. What more can you really ask for? Do you know what I mean? So let me just pick out a few quotes here. One of them right at the beginning. Obviously, it's a nice introduction. You could say generic. I feel back home. I've been preparing for a few years for this opportunity to come. I know the level and stature of this club and what it deserves. So I'm ready for that challenge to start working with the players. Now, obviously, like I said, a very good introduction, but a generic introduction. But it is what it is. Like I said, the further you go into the press conference, I think the further he impressed me, that's for sure. He went on to say, I have so much respect for this football club, so if I didn't feel ready and prepared for this, I wouldn't be sitting in this chair. Which, when you go further into the press conference and you listen to what he said about 18 months ago, they asked him how close he was to signing, and he said a little bit close. He said he did speak to us, but he didn't feel the time is ready. So that kind of shows you that he's not punching, let's say. He does feel like he's ready for it, and he's not shy or scared to reject an offer, because he's essentially rejected us already last year or last summer before we got Emery. So that was interesting to take out of the press conference, that's for sure. He said, the first thing is to change the energy. Last week I was here with Man City and I was a little bit down when I felt what was going on after the game. And again, like around the time when Arteta was here early on, fans weren't fully turned yet. I can't lie to you, I was vexed them times. When I think about Arteta, if I'm honest with you guys, when I think about Arteta and I hear his name, it just reminded me of that summer where we messed about and bought 5 players in the last 4 days after getting spanked 8-2. Wasn't Arteta was one of them, I think. I might be wrong, but I think it was Arteta, Per Mertesacker, Park Chu-young or Young Chu or whatever it was. Andre, yeah, that time wasn't a great time. It wasn't a time to be remembered. But the fan base as a whole was still very behind Wenger, behind the squad. So at this time, the energy he saw and felt at the Emirates was very different to what he felt and saw last weekend. So I understand completely where he's coming from. I'm glad he's noticed it. I'm glad he raised it. He goes on to say, I'm going to try engage everyone, tell the players what I want to do, how I want to do it. They have to start accepting a different process, a different way of thinking. My man, that's exactly what I want to hear. Man said they have to start accepting a new process, a new way of thinking. They have to start accepting. I love that. He's not mincing his words. Trust me, this is not lost in translation. His English is very good. He knows what he's saying. And when you think about it, it reminds me of Pep and his ruthless ways and his consistent approach to his philosophy. So, again, good things. I love that bit. He said we have to build a culture to sustain the rest, and I get that. You have to build a culture in the dressing room, the playing staff, the people around, the coaching staff. It needs to be a well-oiled machine for it to translate onto the pitch and then translate into the fan base. So I get exactly what he's saying. He goes on to say, if you want to be a part of this organization, it has to be on these terms and in this way. Again, ruthless to the point. Accept it or move on. That's what I'm taking from this press conference. He's going to be very strict in his ways, consistent, and if the players don't jump on board, then see you later, mate. Sorry, I was going to read out the same thing. This one was very interesting as well because I was waiting to hear about the fans. Arteta said we need the fans. We need to engage them. We need to be available to transmit with our behaviours, our intention, and we want to bring and what we want to bring to this football club. That's the only way. If we give them, they will give us a little bit, and suddenly we feel that connection. We need to plug these two together. It's so powerful, and he's right. He's right. He knows it works both ways. He knows that in order for the fans to raise hope, to raise good energy, positivity, it has to come from the pitch. It has to come from results, performances, heart, desire at the very least. A man can't chat shit if you're going out there and all 11 are giving 110% and we're still losing. I can't really chat much shit, but it's not been that way. These players are very culpable for the season we've had so far and the drop off at the end of last season, because as you can see, Emery leaving wasn't the answer. So hopefully this is the answer and Arteta does do his thing. This was another interesting quote. I feel Josh and Stan are on the same path. I have a good feeling. Was he told to say that? That's what I thought initially. I think so. But at the same time, obviously, he's spoken to them. And at the same time, like I said, he wouldn't have accepted it if he wasn't ready, number one, and if he wasn't given the right tools and resources, number two. So the conversations must have gone well. And dare I say it, I trust Arteta not to just be a yes man and not to just accept the conditions that Wenger and Emery accepted. Especially coming from Pep, especially coming with such a high profile with no experience. I'm sure he doesn't want to ruin it before you really get started. So Stan and Josh must have gassed him up. And we'll just find out if that is gas or if it is real. Arteta said finding simple things for quick wins is essential, and that is key again, because we're not going to go and revamp the squad in January. In the next few weeks we can't do much. We've got an injury list. We're just going to have to get the best out of what we got, and like he said, if you can find little things for quick wins, that helps for now, and that's all we can think of for now. Talking about Pep, he said you have to be ruthless, you have to be consistent as things he's learned. And like I said throughout the press conference, I think you heard a ruthless Arteta. I think you heard an Arteta that wants consistency in the playing squad, the staff behind, the structure above, just a flowing positive vibe in the club. That's what I got out of him. Like I said, obviously, he did mention about 18 months ago he was a little bit close to signing. And he goes on to really talk about players and talk about they need to be on his wavelength, and he needs to understand why performances haven't been up to scratch this season. He needs to sit down with the players. He needs to analyse. He needs to talk to them. He needs to work it out. When asked about Mesut, he said Mesut is a massive player for this club. That's what he said. Now, you can look at that one of two ways. Massive player, is he just saying the generic thing? Because obviously Ozil's a massive name, so he's a massive player. Or does he really see him as part of the first team squad, let's say, because Emery didn't. So we'll see about that. But he also said about Mesut, like he said, for the rest of the players, he needs to find out why he and the rest of the team are not performing to the level where us fans expect, and I guess the level he expects, because we are better than we are showing. The players are better than they are showing. It's just their brain, that more often than not, their brain is all over the gaff. Quality wise, if we can just instill some mental structure into key areas in this squad, the other quality will shine in terms of Pepe, Oba, Laka, Martinelli, Saka, whoever it is. It's just the vital areas like the centre midfield and the centre back position that's just lacking in mental awareness, tactical awareness. It's just mad. But yeah, like I said, obviously Arteta, it was a good press conference. Now I want to give you like my thoughts on this whole thing, because I didn't want Arteta, but at the same time I understand that even if we got Simeone or Pochettino, which is the two I wanted, unless the board, unless Stan Kroenke changes his ways, unless they really start giving a shit about this football club, then nothing will change. whether it's Arteta or Simeone. So in my opinion, I'm backing Arteta. I really do support him, especially after this press conference. He sounds, I keep on saying it, but it's the same thing over and over again, confident and charismatic. And that's what I want to see from our manager. I want to see someone who's a bit ruthless as well and has a philosophy. So if he can bring that in, under the way the current ownership has been running the past few years, past decade, Arteta's only going to be able to achieve third, fourth max in the league. And I'm not talking about this season, I'm talking about years to come. Because investment is needed, and proper investment. Come on, Arsenal fans, we know that over the last 10 years, there's been about 7 windows where we've been 1-2 players away in key areas from really pushing on. But those 1-2 key areas, more often than not, have been centre back and centre mid, and we never fix it. We'd need a centre back, we'll buy 2 strikers, Oba and Laka, in 6 months. We'll need a centre back, centre mid, we sign Pepe. At the end of the day, yes, we're adding quality in other positions, but when have we ever fixed the issues at the club evident from the season before? When have we had a season and at the end fixed every issue from that season? Never. Hence why it's a rolling effect. Every season, every other season, it's the same shit over and over again. Literally the same shit over and over again. So in my opinion, backing Arteta, but Kroenke is out of time. Out of time. And there's nothing really we can do right now in terms of getting him out. But what he does from now, well, what he does in January and from now to the rest of the season in terms of showing ambition, showing something that we're going to do next summer at the very least. Because even I admit that the January window isn't the best window to revamp a squad in or get your key targets. So for me, we really have to keep the pressure on Kroenke, but support Arteta. It's a tough balance. And near the end of Wenger's reign, I was saying the same thing. It's, you can support Wenger, but put it on Kroenke. Too many of the people supporting Wenger at the time really were blind. So they'd support the man, but have no answer for what the hell's going on behind the scenes or on the football pitch. But now the focus needs to be on Kroenke. I want Arteta to succeed. Listen, he's not an Arsenal legend. He came at a time where I believe we wasn't as bad then as we are now, but we was bad. I was already fed up when Arteta had come, I'm going to be honest. But I want him to succeed. I love that press conference. So if we want him to succeed, we need to point fingers and look in the direction of Stan Kroenke and see what changes there. Because if nothing changes there, nothing's going to change here. And that's the reality of it. I'm hoping it does change. But like I said, in my opinion, he's run out of time. You lot all know me. He ran out of time in the summer for me. The kit launch was an ideal time. It didn't work out. We care, do you come along? Couple letters in. They've told us be excited. Josh has come out again to say, yeah, we're on the major trophy path or whatever. I don't even want to hear it no more. I thought at first I was like, yeah, Josh, come out and talk. But now I don't want to hear it. Now do it. I'm actually tired of hearing it already. Now I want to see you do it. Because I haven't seen you lot do it since you got here. I'll be actually honest. Since you got here, I haven't seen you do it. But let me know in the comments what you guys think about the press conference. What you guys think about Arteta. Like I said, wasn't the guy I wanted, but I'm going to support him. And I love the press conference. And it's really sat well with me what he's been saying. And I actually believe he can make a change, especially short term. But long term, we need Stan Kroenke to fix up. Yeah? Love for everything, people. Support, feedback, share this. Like the video. Subscribe if you haven't. And yeah, people. Instagram, Twitter, Turkish LDN. Add me on those if you haven't already. And love, 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 love.